8 car companies, companies that spend every other day of the year trying to take customers from one another. In July of 2023, 7 of them stopped competing long enough to build one thing together. A year later, Toyota became the 8th and brought Lexus with it. The company they built is called IONNA. It builds fast charging stations, and if you own a Lexus EV, it is quietly the most important thing happening to your car that has nothing to do with your car. Because the hard part of luxury electric motoring was never the vehicle, Lexus solved the vehicle. The hard part was the 400 miles between where you are and where you are going. IONNA is a joint venture, not a startup with investors, a company owned outright by the car makers themselves. BMW, Mercedes-Benz, General Motors, Stellantis, Hyundai, Honda, Kia. Those 7 formed it in July of 2023. Its headquarters are in Durham, North Carolina. Its chief executive is Seth Cutler, and its stated target is 30,000 charge points across North America by 2030. Toyota was not in that room. Toyota joined on the 10th of July, 2024, a full year after the others, as the 8th and final founding investor. The press release was brief about what it bought. Quote, "This allows Toyota and Lexus customers access to the public network of DC fast chargers IONNA will begin deploying later this year." That sentence is the entire formal relationship between Lexus and IONNA. There is no separate Lexus program. There is no Lexus branded station. Toyota wrote a check, and Lexus drivers were included in what it bought. What the money builds is worth understanding. Every IONNA site uses the same charger, an Alpitronic EV YC400, finished in the company's teal. Maximum output, 400 kilowatts. For scale, most of the fast chargers you have used in the last 5 years top out somewhere between 150 and 350. But the number that matters to a Lexus owner is not 400, it is 2. Every IONNA station carries both the connectors, CCS, the standard American electric cars used for a decade, and NACS, the standard Tesla designed, which the rest of the industry has now adopted. Both, at every station, charging simultaneously. No other major network can say that. Which brings us to the strangest small detail in this entire story. For 3 model years, a Lexus RZ needed an adapter to charge at a Tesla Supercharger. The car had a CCS port. The network had NACS. The 2026 RZ is the first Lexus built with an NACS inlet from the factory. On the passenger side, it plugs into a supercharger directly, more than 25,000 of them. And in the boot, Lexus now includes an adapter for CCS, the older standard. The adapter did not disappear, it reversed direction. Owners of the 2023 to 25 cars are not stranded. Lexus dealers supply them an NACS adapter, free. At an IONNA station, none of this matters. Both plugs are already there. So what is plugging in? The RZ, which arrived in 2023 as the first purpose-built Lexus electric car, it now comes 3 ways. The 350e, front-wheel drive, 221 horsepower and 301 miles of range, the longest in the family. The 450e, all-wheel drive, 308 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. And the 550eF Sport, 402 horsepower, 4.1 seconds, and the shortest range of the 3 at 229 miles. That is the trade, stated plainly. The quickest RZ is also the one that stops most often. The 2026 ES, the first Lexus to run Toyota's IONNA software platform, which brings electric route planning into the car itself, and arriving as a 2027 model, on sale before the end of this year, the TZ. The first three-row, all-electric Lexus SUV, 2 battery options, 77 and 96 kilowatt-hours, and up to 300 miles of range. A 3-row family electric SUV is a road trip car, which makes the network underneath it a purchase decision, not a footnote. IONNA does not call them charging stations, it calls them rechargeries. And there are 4 kinds. A rechargery is the full article: owned, operated, staffed with amenities. A rechargery relay is smaller, covered, lit, built for a quick stop. A rechargery at is co-branded, sitting at somebody else's business. And a rechargery beacon is the flagship, 20 or more bays, and the premium end of the experience. The nostalgia is deliberate. The company is openly borrowing from the American service station. The era when stopping for fuel involves somebody coming out to meet you. Where these get built is mostly a question of who already owns the land. Sheets. 50 rechargeries planned by the end of this year. Wawa, the first already open in Daytona Beach, with Bradenton, Pensacola, and Orlando under construction. And in April, the largest of them, Circle K. 350 stores across the United States. Around 85 existing charging sites upgraded, and more than 250 new ones added. The first open by the end of this year. Now, the part most coverage of IONNA skips. It is small. As of April, IONNA ran 1,030 ports. That placed it 9th in the United States, with 1.4% of the country's fast charging capacity. It had just overtaken Rivian's network to get there. First place is Tesla, with 36,877 ports, 51.6%. More than half the fast charging capacity in America belongs to one company. Electrify America is second at 5,610. EVgo third at 5,102. 8 of the world's largest car makers, pooling their money, currently rank below Ford's own network. That is the fair criticism. Here is the fair answer. At the start of this year, IONNA had roughly 1,000 bays live. By July, it had 1,166 across 122 locations. But 4,700 bays are already under contract. Nearly 1,500 are in construction or past it. So the live network is not the network. It is the first fifth of a network that has already been paid for. Meanwhile, Tesla's share is falling. 52.5% in January, 51.6% by April, and expected to slip below half during this year. Not because Tesla is shrinking, because everyone else finally started building. Which leaves the question you actually want answered. What does it cost? You will read that IONNA charges 20 cents a kilowatt hour. That is not quite true, and the difference matters. 20 cents is an opening rate. Every new IONNA location that opens this year runs at 20 cents for its first week. After that, it prices like everyone else. For comparison, Tesla's network broadly runs between 25 and 48 cents, depending on where and when you plug in. Electrify America sits higher still, with a subscription that brings it back down. What IONNA has promised its 8 owners is a standing discount with no subscription, plus optional layers on top. Charging credits with a new car, loyalty rewards, prepaid cards at a discount. General Motors went first. GM drivers get 10% off IONN SUA charging today. Toyota and Lexus terms have not been published. 7 of the 8 are still pending, and yours is one of them. But here is the detail that says the most. When Lexus announced the 2026 RZ, it described your charging options this way. Quote, networks like IONNA, ChargePoint, and EVgo. Like, one of three. Toyota part owns IONNA, and Lexus still markets it as one option among several, with Tesla getting the headline. And there is one more line in that same release worth reading slowly. Plug and charge, the feature that lets the car authenticate itself with no app and no card, arrives first on Tesla's network. IONNA is listed among the networks to follow. So on the network your parent company part owns, the seamless experience is the one you get second. You can already start a session from the Lexus app. What you cannot yet do is tell anyone what you will pay. So is IONNA the reason to buy a Lexus EV? No, not yet. It is 9th, it is 1.5% of the country, and the discount for the badge on your bonnet does not exist in writing. But that is a snapshot of a company 2 years old, and snapshots are a poor way to photograph something moving. 8 rivals put their own money into the same hole in the ground, agreed to fit both plugs to every stall, and started building at 1,000 contracted bays a quarter. Toyota was late to it. Lexus benefits from it anyway. The car was never the hard part. This is the hard part. And for the first time, the people who build the cars are the ones paying for it.